Good evening and welcome to Let's Drone Out. This week we have a couple of special guests, so thank you very much to Wanda for coming on. Oh, who's got an echo there?
You, Andy, because we can't hear it.
Because we can't hear it. So pro.
So, I'm very sorry.
Thanks for pretending to be Jack for a little while there.
Yeah. Okay. Try again. I had the other window open. Very sorry about that.
Instant blame to somebody else. Did anyone see that? It's because it
Typical
usually
authority figure, isn't it? Who's done this now? Oh, it's me.
Oh, it's me. Yeah, exactly. So, welcome to Let's Drone Out. We have a couple of very special guests this evening. So, thank you very much for Tawanda for coming on, and thank you very much to Blue Owl for coming on and sort of arranging this tonight. I think.
Hello.
Tony, you spoke with Tony and kind of organised what's going on tonight. So I think we'll get Tony to maybe introduce what's going on.
No, you carry on, Christmas jumper boy.
I'm gonna carry on rocking the Christmas jumpers. Don't you worry.
How many have you got?
Well, you'll just have to watch and find out.
Okay.
So Tony, why don't you give a little bit of an introduction?
What, to you lot? Because you haven't done. Hello, this is Curry Kitten. Curry Kitten, can you read the disclaimer, please?
Me and Andy weren't counted tonight. We've been relegated to the bottom.
I know.
And not even introduced.
It's terrible.
Everyone knows you.
Have we got the disclaimer? Can we do it? I don't. There's probably going to be no swearing. No. We probably don't even need it. And Andy, I'll see. We haven't even said hi to you. You're doing all right, Andy?
Doing fine. Hello, everybody.
Don't make me do this, Frank. You put me on the spot.
Stop being shy. Get on with it.
Well, I'm just been put on the spot here. Right. Anyway, we've you literally, Frank. I've lost for words because you didn't say anything about this to me today. You were just like,
"Well, you organised
to do it."
You know.
No,
but,
you do it. You do it. This is not what I do. You literally.
Okay. So from what you were saying, so Blue Owl put us in touch as Tawanda is part of a group of drone users that Blue Owl has been working with through her work. But Tawanda is part of this new group, and it's the first group, I believe, using racing quads that Blue Owl's been aware of. So, obviously, we're going to be very interested to hear what's going on with that. But there's also, and Tony was very excited about this and sending all the links all around. I believe you've been working on a book as well that's just been released.
Yes. Yeah, just published a book called Drone Professional 1. So that's out. I'll give you links to Amazon. You guys can go check it out. That's pretty cool.
Definitely have those in the show notes and in the description below. Absolutely.
Cool.
So I guess for kind of kick things off. So how long have you been flying?
Jeez. I would say about 4 years now is how long I've actually been flying. And so I started off with racing quads. Started off with your we call them your what? You call them your whoop, your mini whoop kind of thingy.
Whoop quads,
those ones. So started out with those, a couple of those, bought about 6 or 7 of those. Just went through a whole bunch. So I used to follow, I don't know if you know RC Sailors.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I used to follow those guys a lot. So whatever new drone was coming out, I try to kind of buy it, and so I had all sorts of different kinds of drones. Then moved over to actually getting proper quads, proper racing quads. A couple of which we actually, I think there's about 2 that my friend and I actually just bought the parts in, bought the frames, the motors, the ESCs, and everything, and kind of just put it together and started teaching ourselves how to fly. Got a couple of radio controllers there, and then kind of fell in love with it and just go out to any like kind of, we have like a almost like for you to be like a park. For us, it's just like an open space, open field near one of the sports centers, sports clubs, and just go out and just fly and that kind of thing. Our summers are long here, so it's really cool. So we have a lot of time to just, you know, whiz around and just fly and that kind of thing. And I crashed enough the times. I mean, but I used to find it cool because, I mean, we had these tall like trees, and there was one time my drone came down and hit almost every single branch coming down, right? And it must have been like more than 10 branches. Came down, and it was just one of the props, you know, one of the propellers that were damaged. I was so happy. I was just like, oh, this is it. This is the dream. So yeah, that's kind of where I got started. Yeah, and then obviously moved over to commercial drones and that kind of thing. But the fun was always in the quads. Yeah.
Cool.
Have we got a bit of microphone noise from someone?
Can you hear a bit of noise coming from some? Yeah, like a shuffling noise.
Everyone, stay still but speak. I think it's Tawanda. I think you're the culprit. It's
really?
You. Stay still. Stay dead still.
Okay, cool.
Stay dead still.
Are you on a laptop, Tawanda? Have you got like a microphone on the laptop?
You don't have to do. You can speak.
If your laptop's got a microphone, it might be picking up hand movement on the desk and stuff, perhaps. So it could be that. Is that where your mic is?
My mic is on my headphones. Yeah.
Oh, it's on your headphones. It might be the lead moving around.
Giving it a bit of vibration.
Can you try to keep that still, please? It's definitely that. Definitely that. Hold it there. Cool. Don't move. So, where are you based, Tawanda?
So I'm in Zimbabwe. I'm in the Zimbabwe, in the capital city called Harare. Yeah, that's where I live.
Cool. And you've been flying race drones for what, 4 years? You say?
I'll say yes, but that makes it seem like I'm a professional, and I've been doing it. And I've been growing.
Professional.
Hey. That's for commercial drones. Okay, that's commercial. I definitely don't want to put myself anywhere in the league when it comes to racing drones. I feel very shy because I know there's some really good people out there. So yeah.
Well, yeah, you've got to be like 14, 15 now to be good. You've got to be young and.
Do you go out racing and stuff, Tawanda? Are you just about sort of going out with friends and having fun and crashing into trees more?
Yeah, definitely more the crashing into trees, having fun. I was actually having a chat with Blue Owl, and I was just telling her that I think the challenge that I have here in Zimbabwe is that most people at that stage, and almost everyone's at that stage of just discovering it, and they're just having fun, you know, getting the quads in the air. Everyone's there's so many of the camera drones, commercial drones that people have, that the moment you give them a racing quad, they get confused and they don't know what they're doing. So we don't have any like professional or even semi-professional kind of racing going on. So it means the quality of even, you know, people who are racing here, it's purely for fun and just hobby. Yeah, I think that's where we're at right now. Yeah.
I think that's the best sort of events though. Like my favorite events to go to are the ones where it's kind of everyone's kind of pretty local and grassroots and kind of all very supportive and kind of helping each other out, and it's not so kind of hardcore competitive, but it's a bit more of a fun way to spend your time. So yeah, that sounds like good fun. So
yeah, I've always been about. Sorry, I was just gonna say I've always been about like the meetups rather than the racing. Sort of getting together with friends and getting all up in the air together and just chasing each other around. And inevitably, it turns into like I can hit that gap. No, you can't. Well, I can hit that gap, and you just end up in a big pile of parts. But I think that's the best. The best times. Sorry, Frank, I interrupted.
I was going to say, so what's the name of the group that you're sort of meeting up with at the moment then?
So we call it Drone Racing Zim, so ZIM, short for Zimbabwe. And it's basically a community of people who are currently, who currently have racing drones, racing quads. and then guys who are interested in actually building their own, and some guys who are just like super keen to want to get in the space but are kind of like on the fence. So
we got a super sticker. Unfortunately, Jack's not here to light anything, Sam. Thank you very much for your donation. Frank, have you got anything to light?
Oh, there you go.
what is that about?
Quick handy, Miss Warren ESC together. Get some magic smoke.
So usually one of our hosts is unfortunately not well this evening, but it'd usually be on here and setting fire to things. Generally, sort of a little indoor fireworks whenever someone donates something. But unfortunately,
sparklers.
There you go.
Do it, Tony.
Well, Andy's got a lighter. You just use his.
That's lame. This is lame. Apparently, it's the best I can do.
I've got no lighter. I can't light anything. Let me hold it on the bulb of this lamp. No, sorry, I can't light anything. But thank you, Sam, for the donation. That's really kind of you.
Get the hob on, Tony. Come on, make an effort.
We'll save it up and we'll get Jack to set a fire to
we do one next time. Jack's here. Sorry about that. Sorry to the interruption as well. But we always have to interrupt when someone donates. So thank you.
It's all good.
So yeah, so where were we? So we were saying about so you the drone racing Zim, and you've got the group that you're kind of meeting up with at the moment. So how many of are you that's in the group?
About 36.
Wow, it's quite a big group.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a big group in terms of the numbers. Like we're all like on the one like platform, so we've got kind of like a WhatsApp group as well going on. But we've got a lot of spectators, people who are like, yeah, that's cool, hey, and supporters type of thing. People with actual quads, I'd say maybe about 11 of that number, and then a couple of guys with like your little what are these DJI Sparks and things like that. That they're like, yeah, I'll come and I'll join, type of thing when you guys are having your races. We had an event, so we used to host events. So I've been hosting like kind of like meetups, like you mentioned, Carrie Kitten. So hosting meetups, and I remember our second meetup when we hosted. This was must have been like 3 years ago. Someone came with an Inspired 2, and I was like, and started flying around as Inspired 2, and we're all flying racing drones, and I'm like, not quite what we're looking for, but look, I think we're all just here for the fun and for drones and that kind of thing. So yeah, we've got a lot of enthusiasts. Yeah.
That's pretty
How
cool.
did you meet I've got to mention Blue Owl. I've been shouted at in the chat.
Yeah, I've been reading the comments.
How did you two get to find each other?
So I'm actually the very lucky person to work with these guys and other flying labs. I work for the NGO who co-creates a network that Tawanda and his team is a part of. So this is pretty cool. There are 30 more flying labs like this all around the world, not only in Africa, but also in the Latin America and Asia. And yeah, I get to meet all these, crazy people specialized in all kinds of things who just fly drones all around the world. And then you get to, see their work and see their projects. That's really great. And I'm basically the very humble technical support for anything that's going on whenever they need help with flying or processing data. So like we said, Zimbabwe is the newest flying labs who joined us not too long ago. But we have 2 more just coming up as we speak. Basically, we are launching them soon. So the network is growing.
That's cool.
But to be honest, when we met with Tawanda a few weeks ago, when we talked for the first time, I think we stayed on we started with the work call, and then we stayed for like 1 or 2 more hours just to chat about drones, like outside of the working time. And what was really cool about his story, well, one of the cool things was that he actually sees the importance of knowing how to fly manually, not just pressing a button, doing your job, and then landing. I think there is still complexity in doing projects like this. Even if you do press a button to take off and land, there is still the complexity. It's just somewhere else. But I really appreciate the pilots who really take the time to not only fly the DJI drones, but also to learn how to fly manually. This is really great. And another thing, sorry, you see, guys, I started talking now. I can't stop.
It's good. It's good. It's good. You carry on.
It's what they asked for. So, yeah, another cool thing that I remember from our call is that you guys, Zimbabwe Flying Labs, you guys actually really care about teaching the kids how to fly as well, and spreading teaching people, showing the people. All right, I was just reading your comments, guys, so I gotta laugh. The STEM education, all the meetups with the kids to show them how to fly. It, at least to show them that it can be a career that you can have. You can be a professional drone pilot. This is really cool. I really love that.
Yeah.
So how did you end up going? Because obviously, like Blue Owl, you were saying, you're sort of helping out with the kind of the data processing and sort of that kind of thing. So how did the kind of a group of racers then end up kind of getting to the point where there's kind of the flying labs and the kind of the applying the technology in a kind of in a slightly different way, or is it more about this kind of using the flying the quads as a way of just kind of including more people in it, or is there kind of that technical data processing is that kind of thing now becoming more of what you're doing?
For me, it's always been my job. So I actually started with data processing first, and only then I started flying different things. So I started with FPV, but yeah, it's very much connected one field with another. So I actually studied photogrammetry and remote sensing. That's like asking, for for being involved in the drone industry. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to kind of integrate FPV and racing and like freestyle racing quads into the whole world of humanitarian projects and flying for work.
I like the idea of sort of what do you call it? I've forgotten the name of it now. The photography you do to build up the 3D models. What's its name again?
Photogrammetry.
Photogrammetry. Thank you. I like the idea of doing that on a racing quad, but only having enough concentration to do this couple of stripes. So you've just got this building geometry, which just is two faces, and like all the rest is like, yeah, I was diving something else. Then I didn't get that bit for you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that probably wouldn't work. But I really like the idea of involving the kids and teaching the kids how to fly FPV. FPV, to me at least, is more fun than flying DJI.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of two different things, but it's still it's my whole world. I've process the data, fly DJI drones for work, and then after hours I fly freestyle. So I would like to find a way to kind of incorporate the two. But I think Tawanda is doing a good job at incorporating racing drones into the more professional side.
Yeah. Maybe if I can just chime in here. So the interesting thing about it is like, for me, the way I actually got started was deciding on which two to go with, just because, yeah, it's all drones, but then you've got the quadcopters and the drones, and then, everyone's kind of like, it's almost like everyone's on two sides in a sense. But I actually decided to go for the racing drone side because it was all manual, because I really wanted to understand the tech and how drones actually work. I didn't want to go for the, the auto kind of setup that most people are used to now. So in doing that, I got a deep dive into the space, and what I quickly then saw was that this is probably the best way to teach anyone. If you want to be a good drone pilot, and the guys who then go and get their licenses and that kind of thing, you actually need to learn the manual way first. And I just take it similar to kind of like in my country here, driving, for example. We still have manual transmission. Manual transmission is still a big thing here. I don't know if it's a big thing there. But when someone's learning to drive a car, they're supposed to be trained on manual transmission. Then, automatic is not something people get tested on here. You can't really test automatic, which is good. I think it's still a good skill to have. So for me, the drone side of things was the drone racing side of things was that to say, if you really want to be a pilot, you've got to know the ins and outs of it. Because even those guys who fly, and us now who fly DJIs, you tell them what's an ESC, they're like, huh? What's that? Do you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't even know the ratios in terms of your motors, and what's the difference between having a motor that's 2300 versus something else. Do you know what I mean? They don't know, and they don't understand the tech itself. And I'm like, yeah, so you're not really a pilot. You're just doing the easy stuff. And I love going into now, like what Blue Owl was talking about, is like, now I saw that I was like, look, I think the only way to teach people about drones is to show them this side first. Show them the quads first. Get them to play with that first. Get them to figure out and actually learn how to fly a drone properly, right? Without all the auto stabilization and all this stuff. Then if they move over to this stuff, that's something else. But they really at least understand how the tech works. So then we started going into schools, trying to teach, every chance we get. So by the time that we started getting into schools, we had about 13, 14 of our own little racing quads. So we'd go into schools and then just, have kind of fun days and open days and just fly drones around and let the kids crash a lot. Yeah.
Tawanda, can you please not move?
Come on.
This is you speak and this happens.
The other what might work quite well is if you hold the lead just slightly away from you.
There we go.
There we go.
We want to hear what you say, and it goes onto a podcast, and it's going to be trouble taking that.
So, Tawanda, what have you been doing in the commercial space, and have you managed to, if you're doing stuff there, are you getting your sort of regular race drones involved in that sort of stuff as well?
So in the commercial space, I do a lot now. So I started off with the racing side, and then I moved up to commercial probably about 2.5 years ago. And then so basically here's just a quick one. All right. So I was spending quite a bit of money on the drones. And then it wasn't doing so well at home because too much money is going towards buying racing drones. So then I was like, nah.
Not heard that before.
I don't know. I've never experienced that problem.
So then I figured, look, I'm going to have to go the commercial way so I can earn money to go back and spend on some more drones. Yeah. No, seriously, ultimately my plan was, and I was telling Blue all this, I was saying, when we started, we reached out to, what's his name? Nicholas Herbowski from DRL1. I don't know if you guys know him.
Sort of in passing, but not particularly.
From DR, yeah, DRL, not DRL1, DRL, Drone Racing League in America. So we reached out to him, and they're doing some amazing things there in the States, really pushing the industry, the drone racing space. So anyway, we reached out to him, and then we're like, hey, we want to connect, we want to do all these cool things. So we wanted to now host events. So this was my dream, guys. When I started, this was my very first dream. I was like, I want to host a world championship drone racing event in my country we've got this cool, super nice resort town called Victoria Falls. It's supposed to be one of the 7 wonders of the world. So I wanted us to create a racetrack in the wild. Okay,
cool.
That's what I wanted. Cool. Elephants, and well, we're not gonna fly near the elephants, guys. Stay with me.
Well, that might be quite good gate.
But we'll be close. We'll be pretty close. Okay, we'll be pretty close. But I wanted to really set up a cool massive obstacle course. You know, like the whole. There was one the one that I saw, the world drone, the one in Dubai or something like that, the World Championship, the one where Luke, your guy there, Luke Bannister, yeah. right. And I think Tony was talking about 15, 16-year-old. I think Luke was 16 when he won that.
I think he was probably younger than that, but yeah.
Really? Yeah. So I was following that. So I was like, no, the next one needs to be in Africa, in my country, and people come here, right? And we do it here. So that was my thing. But yeah, we're a long way off.
keep the dream alive, because it would be a bloody lovely trip. I'd love to go to Africa and do that in Zim.
Yeah. So then I had to move over to the commercial side because I couldn't bankroll buying more drones and repairing and stuff. Like I was showing Blue Owl, I've got like a box, I think I got a box full of like little quads and little propellers, little props and stuff, and then like a whole bunch of broken parts. How do you find how do you find getting parts to Zim? Is it easy? Is it hard? Is it expensive? Now it's super expensive. Back when I started, it was a lot easier. Because I think just the economy here has gone south and all sorts of things, and that's also what's made things slow down. Is back then, like when I started 2016, back then, 2017, people had like expendable income and they could spend money on buying things like this. Now I'll have maybe 1 or 2 people the whole year who will come up to me and be like, I'm really serious about buying a drone. I want a racing drone, that is, and I want you to help me. Can you help me get it? And then getting it here, if we buy, because we normally get stuff straight from China, so we just order stuff from China, and then like I ordered something in February, it got here in September, type of thing. And these are like, and I was buying a run cam, and I was buying new motors for my Walkera, and then other stuff just got like, it didn't get here, so I'm still waiting for some parts. So now it's a nightmare. It's not. So now getting into the space is tough, and I think we've got a lot of missing pieces that we need to, get our racing drones fixed and to get things back in the air again. But hopefully I think things will get better. Hopefully next year we'll see. But it would be good to get because it's tough to get the community going, because people will reach out to me and be like, hey, how do I get started? And then I tell them you have to order online, and then they kind of like lose interest after a while.
Yeah, with that sort of waiting time to actually get stuff, I can imagine you got bored and found something else to do.
Well, it's drone techs, like it's updated within weeks. You buy something, a week later it's out of date anyway. So
Exactly.
Can you imagine waiting that long? It's like, oh my god, this is prehistoric. That's the problem with tech. You buy a phone and it's out of date in the next couple of months. Tech moves so fast at the moment, but that must be hard waiting that long for stuff.
And also like the racing gates, that's a big space as well, where we don't have enough of the proper things. What I would want is those proper, I don't know whether you call them timed or whatever it is, where at least when you fly through, it just like sets off that you've gone through the markers and that kind of thing, rather than having cones and hoops, that I'm like, nah, we can't keep doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to kind of move up a bit.
I do remember the sort of when we started out putting sort of quads in our meets, and let's make a racetrack, and it's like, we'll just make some hoops out of stuff and we'll build them, and we'll put some foam around them, and it's like, this hoop is invisible unless you're like 1 inch away from it. There's a big difference between homemade and the ones with like the proper coning around it, where you can actually see where you're going. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be great if maybe, so I've talked about this before, some UK pilots and American pilots and stuff, if we have spare things that we could like donate somehow to places like Zim, where it takes so long to get things, because I've got props, and I've got motors that I don't use anymore that I'd love to somehow build some kind of community where you put in the bits you don't want and send them to places that, you know, where you maybe can't afford them, or it takes so long to get there. And I'd like to do something like that. Maybe we can talk off air, Blue Owl and Tawanda, about doing something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure there would be even more people even in our network. There would be many more pilots who would be interested to really, like you said, Tawanda, you know, learn how to drive in manual and learn what an ESC is instead of just flying a DJI. You just made me think of something, because I kind of work on one side and then spend my free time on the other side. You know, I'm kind of in between the two worlds. I'm not a fan of you know, the shaming that's going on. I don't like the fact that FPV pilots really criticize the DJI pilots, and the opposite as well. If you're a DJI pilot, you know, the FPV guys, they just fly for fun. It's nothing. Yeah, you don't do anything really, and I'm not really a fan of that, because, like I said, I'm sort of on both sides of the story. So like I said, the complexity of the project is actually still there. I mean, you could have, and there are a lot of, you know, DJI pilots who might just take off and land with their phone, and that's fine, because they do a ton of other useful stuff. They might be super good at making videos or editing photos. You know, let's say there is an earthquake in the Philippines, and because we have these local groups, the flying labs, there's somebody who can just take their Phantom, even though they don't know how it works, they don't know what's inside, they can collect the data, they can help people when they need it. So yeah, I'm not a fan of you know, being kind of divided between two.
There's the opportunity to combine too. I mean, a couple of weeks ago we had on the person's name I've forgotten, who flies commercially and is over here filming a lot for the UK TV program Top Gear, and he was a traditional commercial pilot flying Inspires and Phantoms, getting the normal sort of high up shots, but recently he's been flying race drones with albeit with the DJI HD system quite helpfully, and doing all the car chases and stuff like that as a completely sort of different type of flying that they can cut into their program quite nicely. So there is an opportunity for lots of crossover in the commercial space. So there doesn't have to be infighting between what commercial pilots do and what FPV pilots do. It's all the same stuff. And then we can get back to fighting amongst the guys with nitro planes and stuff instead, who were ruining it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll fly both. I fly DJI stuff and race drones, freestyle drone. I'll fly anything. Like there's shots that you can only get with a DJI stuff. You know, I love using both. Sunday I'm going to go out Sunday, and I'm going to Canberra Castle. I'll be taking my Inspire to do shots of that, but I'll be racing or freestyling on the beach with my other race.
I'll tell you what you haven't done, Tony, which I have, and that's FPV the dog. Why haven't you done that yet? I've done it.
She's so small.
It's the same size as my dog. It's fine. You just make up a little.
My dog is the size of a cat. Have you seen her?
She also wears a cowbell occasionally. I mean,
she does wear a cowbell. It looks smaller on the internet. That's only when I'm mountain biking, so I can hear her. If she stops for a wee or whatever, I can hear her behind me. She stops. That's why she wears a bell. It's not animal cruelty.
Okay. Yeah. So you know what's interesting is like Blue Owl, for example. Like she's actually brilliant. She's being very modest.
She is brilliant.
Yeah, she's very modest about what she does for Flying Labs Network. So she was talking about that and just being a part of it, and she actually holds a lot of the things together and does a lot of work there. Like she was saying, with the data processing, software side of things, as well as helping get everyone up to speed and training people. So the Flying Labs itself is actually a very powerful platform. Yes, I've flown in the G-Dog. I've flown in the Vic Falls. I have.
Wow, that must be cool. I really would love to do that.
Right. I got so much cool footage. Yo,
Have you got a YouTube channel?
I do, but my YouTube channel is actually called the African Drone Professional. So you guys can look that up. African Drone Professional. But on there, I'm just talking about the drone industry. So it's dead boring for you guys.
Oh, man, come on. We want to see some big
You need a second channel, African Drone Professional Gone Wild or something like that.
Right.
We want to see the dives of Vic
Right.
Falls, man.
So guess what? Starting January, I'm working on my show reel. Okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So 1st of January or 2nd of January, I'm publishing my show reel of some of my work over the last year or so. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be epic. All right.
And then to that already.
And then next year, so I'll start posting more content of like stuff that I actually shoot. But right now, it's just a platform where I talk about the drone industry and trying to help people who want to get in this space to take it more seriously. But that's more for commercial drone stuff. I had a channel called Drone Racing Zim, but I'm telling you this, but please don't go to my channel because there's nothing there. Right? There's like one video, and then I'm like not proud of it, and please don't go and see it.
I think the link's been put in the chat already. And can I remind you to hold your microphone away?
Okay, I'm holding it up.
Come on, Mr. Wonder. I'm going to tell you off every time.
Sorry.
I was going to say, what's the good stuff in Zimbabwe to look at? Because Africa's a big place. Zimbabwe's down the bottom, isn't it? Close to South Africa. Because we always think Africa, we think the elephants, we think the savannas, but it's a big place. Is there stuff exciting to get out and film there as well?
Yeah, he lives in boring England.
Yeah,
what?
We've got nothing. So Tony's just saying we live in England. It's like, what can we film? I filmed a tree today and some grass. That's how exciting it got.
Yeah. So my mom-in-law, she actually lives in England, and my father-in-law. So I'm going to say shout out to them so that I can send it to them. Hi guys.
Hi.
Yeah. So they're in Luton. So yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, cool. So don't worry, guys. I'll be coming up soon. Okay, very soon. Just wait for the pandemic to finish. I'll be up there. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when you do come over, if you want to hook up and fly with any of us lot, shout us, and we'll co-fly with you.
I'll come and watch you first, and then I'll decide whether I'm going to fly with you. Okay, because I don't want to get embarrassed.
No. You bring something along and you run what you brung. That's
it.
You clearly have never flown with these guys. You will outperform them instantly.
Thanks, Andy. I feel like I can do it now.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did though. Funnily enough, we did all meet up at Luton, didn't we? Maybe a couple of years ago, and I was the same. I was like, I don't want to fly in front of these guys. Then when they started smashing into things, I was like, oh, they're just like me.
That's it.
That's so cool. That's so awesome. But yeah, please, guys, I've put a link in to the book. So I co-authored a book. It's called Drone Professional 1. And basically all that book is really talking about is how drones are being used across different industries. So you guys know this kind of stuff, but it's covering things like how drones are being used in like healthcare, insurance, security, agriculture, etc., which is kind of like the space that I'm involved with. So I have my own drone company. So before I joined Flying Labs, I've got my own drone company, commercial drone company, that does like drone services and that all that kind of jazz, right? So we do a lot of kind of work in that space for agriculture. We actually have a crop spraying drone.
Cool.
We also just do crop and plant health assessments. We do some work for infrastructure construction as well. We're starting to get into a bit of telecoms. It's not the cool like fun stuff, but it's like it has value. So it brings value to our clients and makes sense to them and that kind of thing. And then now like a big part of what I'm involved with is education. So I'm really, really big on education. I've always been just for the racing drone stuff. So now what the Flying Labs is allowing us to do is we're actually building out a curriculum, a youth program that's going to, there already is a youth program that's just been released. And we're going to be helping also to add to that youth program, which is going to be basically a platform to help anyone who's like young. So whether you're like junior school, middle school, high school, whatever, or even like college, to learn about drone tech in different ways and that kind of thing. And that's where we get to decide how kids learn about it. So I'm definitely going to include them learning, obviously, about, quads, right? Before they get into doing everything else, or just alongside it. You know what I mean? Because I don't think it'd be holistic if we just taught them how to fly. I think, kids need to learn how to build, and basically learn how to program and code as well. And that literally lays the foundation for the work that we're doing as Flying Lab, which is like delivering things like, humanitarian work. And there's some for us, we want to do stuff like drone healthcare, drone deliveries, and all that kind of stuff. And all that kind of stuff when you're actually building a system for healthcare delivery. So you want to do drone delivery. Having a background in building quads and coding them and programming and getting them to fly is actually the foundation you need, and will give you an advantage when you want to now develop like delivery systems, because you're going back to learning about payloads and balance and and what size motors can carry what payload and how do I increase this and all that kind of stuff. So I think the foundation is in racing drones for a lot of the things that we want to do in development that helps people and changes people's lives. Yeah.
I definitely think I should be on the team for building and
you should be in the education class, yeah.
Yeah, I need to be in
lesson
the class.
1, how to join 2 wires together. Put down the duct tape.
It should be a picture of Tony. You say, see this man here, and don't do anything he does.
Copy him.
Yeah.
How not
I have used chewing gum to join wires together once. It was only once.
Well, that's about how long it lasted. You'd think lesson learned pretty quickly, wouldn't you?
I know, it's bad, isn't it? No, that's really good. That's really good.
So
I can only fly, but I can't. I'm not very good at building, but I know where you're coming from. It's good.
You've built a few things, Tony.
Monstrosities, I call them.
I think if Tony, if he had the choice, or didn't have the choice, should I say, he would have to get the chewing gum out and build one himself until chewing gum stopped working, and it cost him so much money that you'd have to do it properly. You'd have to learn how to do it properly.
I used to do it before I met all you guys. I did it. I've built stuff that's flown before, but I just do not like doing it. I just like the flying part. Some people love building. Like there's people in the chat who's like, I'd rather build. Look, see, Blue Owl's got her hand up.
Well, I wouldn't rather build, but I love building. It takes me ages because I just like the process so much that I never want to finish. So I just
really, I just can't. No.
There are people who not only like it, but are so good at it. All the wires are laid out beautifully.
Yeah, I know.
And everything's perfect. But then there's like, oh, I don't want to risk flying it now. And it becomes like the hanger queen, doesn't it?
Yeah. I have got some ornaments that I didn't build them, but I have got some. I won't ever fly them. They're just totally built quads sitting in my special place. See, look, I love building. I enjoy building. Look at all this. I enjoy Clive.
Why are you so surprised?
I don't think I got given. No, don't even say that. That's not part of the fun. The fun is sitting on your chair flying. That's the fun.
No, you're flying something you've built yourself. That's like super, like you've achieved.
Yeah, I have done it. Don't like it.
I don't mind it. I can't do it
good.
nice. I can't do it neatly. It's a ball of wires, but it still works.
Yeah, as long as it works.
It starts off with great intentions, and then it's like one thing goes a little bit like that's a bit long. Never mind, we'll just tuck it in there, and then that's a bit short. Let's just hammer and make that fit. And it all goes. That's why I enjoyed building the thing out of Frank's box of nothing so much, because it was already broken. I just had to like mash it together with tape.
Yeah. Look, there's so many people love it.
Yeah, there's also the setup part, and that's something that I don't enjoy. That's why I switched to kids.
What? Betaflight and setting up the kiss, setting up the cameras. Yeah. The worst bit is tuning as well. Tuning.
I don't do tuning.
Yeah.
It needs to work. It just needs to work.
Well,
I don't have.
Now we're luckily enough that Betaflight and stuff and Kiss and that are just so good now. You know, back in the old days, back in 6-7 years ago, when you know, it was coming out of the box, it would just be like this permanently, and then you had to tune. But now we can pretty much load any 5-inch frame up with Betaflight, and it flies pretty good. So we're lucky now, and the props don't break when you look at them. I used to look at my props and they'd snap. You know? Damn things.
Good old times.
Yeah, the good old days. No Sims, nothing like that. We never had Sims. God, I sound like an old git, don't I? Sorry.
So, Tamanda, what's your current FPV setup in terms of like what's your favorite FPV quad that you've been flying? What goggles have you got? What radio are you flying?
Yeah, so for me, I've got different ones. So I was actually trying to show Blue Owl a couple of them before. So because of what Tony Starr said, I don't feel so bad. So I'm currently flying 2. So there's 2 that I'm currently using right now, and they're straight out of the box type of ones. Okay, the ones that we kind of custom built. Yeah, they work, but they're not my favorite. So we've got, I don't know if you guys know Walkera.
Yeah, heard of them.
So we've got, oh, you heard of them? Okay.
Yeah.
Walkera F210. So that comes with a Devo, I think we've got a Devo 8 radio controller. That's what we're using right now. And then in terms of my goggles are really whack, guys. They're really bad. I think I've got, what did I show you? Did I show you I showed you my racing goggles, hey?
I don't think so.
I didn't have them here. Where they at the office? I think they might be in the cupboard right now, actually. I might need to get them for you guys.
Go on.
Oh, show us what
they are. Let me see. Hold on.
But when you come back, remember to hold your microphone. Smash, bang, wallop.
Blue Owl, have you been able to get out and fly much recently?
No, not so much yet. So just after I moved, there was a lockdown, which started.
I'm sure you don't. So here's like a sort of custom situation going on there. Here are my goggles.
Are there
like a box goggle?
Yeah, box goggle.
Okay, let me put this on so that you guys can see.
Ishin, Andy, you know what they are. Ishin, what?
And then I've got. Oh, sorry, I have to get my headphones on. Headphones. Sorry.
Hold your microphone away from your t-shirt. Good boy.
All right, cool. All right, so I got these, and then I've got a couple of super old. What are they called? They're like the old fat chocks, like the very second.
Dominators.
Dominator V1.
Probably something like that. Not the
Does
first
the
one,
eyepiece keep falling out? That's the
probably. So I got these. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you guys see them, the VR, whatever things.
So VR 007, like, everybody's saying in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. So these ones are like, and then so these ones like 480p type of thing. Then I'm also using an EA Sheen Wizard thing. I think X220.
Sheen Wizard, yeah, you know that.
X220S or something like that. ST something, right? So those are currently the 2 that I'm using. And then we've got our little custom thingies that are going on here. I don't have all my radios here. I've got one here. This one. This is like my beast. Oh, sorry. Here you go.
Is that what's that? Futaba? I can't even see what that is.
That's a Walkera one, isn't it?
Walkera?
No, it's not Walkera. Not Smoker. I think this is like Spectrum type of thing.
Oh yeah, Spectrum.
Oh yeah, Spectrum.
This is Spectrum. So
Yeah, cool.
yeah, so that's that, and then I've also got so I've got the Devo 8, I think, as well, and then I've got an X. I don't know if you guys know XK.
Yeah, XK.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've got an XK. It's white. I'll have to check XK something, and then XK, because XK got a very nice radio controller. Eh? They got a very nice custom one.
Yeah, pretty good. Taba protocol XK.
Yeah. It's very nice. But then it only works with theirs, so I'm just like, it's annoying. And they haven't brought out any new ones in like 10 years.
It's been a while.
Right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
XK. They sort of they had a lot of nice 3D models that as in reverse prop that I checked up. I haven't seen anything from them for a good while.
Yeah. Exactly, but the radio controller is beautiful. I mean, like, it's one of the best that I've ever used or seen. Yeah.
Well, we all fly cheap radios. Most of us fly the cheap Tyrannus radios anyway. We just they're really good radios, but we always change the gimbals in ours to the nicer gimbals. But they're just pretty cheap radios, to be honest. So as long as it works, eh?
Yeah.
So, Tawanda, have you flown a plane, wings, or anything like that? FPV?
No, I haven't.
No,
I haven't.
Okay.
Oh, you're missing out. You have to do everything. As soon as you get into FPV, it starts. Where can I put this camera? On a dog is one, another is on a wing, and start flying that around. Different angle.
You know what? I've been out to guys who fly model aircraft a couple of times. Right, and I've been there seeing them doing their thing, and I'm there, and then I pull out my drone and do my thing next to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no desire to fly there, like Adams. Like I'm just like, nah. I'm happy.
Not even if you put a camera on there. Come on.
Are they just going around in circles and doing boring stuff?
Yeah, because then they have to do all this like climbing, and then it has to like it has to go up, right?
You just pretend you're in a quad.
No.
It's much more exciting on a plane, because when you come down low, you have all that ground turbulence and you're shaking around. It's like, am I going to die or not? And you just don't know. It's good stuff. Try everything.
Okay, fine. I'll try it next time. I was like, nah, I'm happy with my racing drone.
That's fair enough. I think we've all flown wings here. I think we all like flying them.
Wings,
yeah.
A lot.
Anything we can FPV.
Oh, really?
Andy's mate proved that you can make it out of a cardboard box as well.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't need even anything other than a cardboard box to get a plane going.
That's
a
it.
bit of old tatty hardware.
Some chewing gum.
Yeah. So you guys follow those guys? I don't know. I forgot the name of the guys who make planes out of cardboard box. And they've got some YouTube channel, and that's all they do and stuff.
There's flight tests that use the phone.
Yeah, flight test. There we go. Yeah.
They have some nice specifically made, very lightweight foam. This was not that. This was an old crappy box that has just been cut up and had lots of tape put on it. But it still flew. Yeah.
So how come you guys don't fly then on the commercial side? How come you guys don't do fixed wing then? You guys should be flying the EVs, right? Blue Owl, since they like all these things.
The what?
Right?
The EVs?
The EVs.
Yeah.
A fixed wing. You should look for EB. So EB double E.
Oh, EB.
Yeah, EB. Yeah, and the EBX and that kind of thing. Yeah.
A couple of us have flown commercially now and again.
Oh, for the fixed wing?
Well, no drones.
Yeah, something for the fixed wing drones. So, since you guys are flying planes, right? Yeah.
Some of us have, but yeah.
I think the main thing is because we've got we're restricted to line of sight flying anyway, so we can't go anywhere or do anything that we can't do with a quad, if you see what I mean. So if you're using a wing, it would generally be because it can go further and fly longer and go faster and things like that, and that's just not particularly useful for anything that you're allowed to do commercially in the UK, at least. So I think that's probably the big restriction. But so what about you commercially? What are you using at the moment? I'm kind of imagining quite a large fleet of things from what you're talking about, doing everything from kind of like healthcare to telecoms. So just kind of interested to know what you've got in your range of what you're using.
Yeah, so healthcare is what we want to do. We're not in that space yet, but that's definitely a big goal of mine, to do drone deliveries for healthcare stuff, just because of the need that's there in the communities in my country. But in terms of our fleet, where our standard is the Phantom 4 Pro. So that's a workhorse. So that's doing our mapping, a lot of our just like, small to medium scale kind of mapping work. And then agriculture as well, just getting us data and information in that space, as well as doing kind of like your 3D models and your, getting data for photogrammetry work and that kind of thing. So your Phantom 4 Pro, we've got about 3 of those. We've got a Mavic 2 Pro as well. We had an Inspire 1. It's kind of on its last legs right now, type of thing. We've just gotten a Mavic Air 2, which is cool, really cool. The color's not bad on that one, and it's very nice and versatile. So that's kind of our range right now. And then on the industrial side, we have one crop spraying drone, 15-liter tank, called the Joyance JT108 Pro. Yeah.
That's really cool.
How long does that fly for? Did I disappear or did he disappear?
There was a freeze up there.
I think he has disappeared, unfortunately.
Oh, Tawanda.
Either that or he's doing a very, very good impression.
He's
doing a great job at keeping the mic
very
nice and
still. Oh man, what happened?
Oh, hopefully he'll rejoin. I was just thinking, is there an untapped market for these crop spraying drones? These sort of party island where everybody's partying and they're dancing around, obviously not in this thing. Can you just fill it with beer and it can fly over them and in their mouths?
I think it'd be better to fill them with disinfectant at the moment. Well,
that's a good idea too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it is interesting. The commercial side, we don't see much of it over here, really, other than
Tony's kind of looking at it more than anybody else. I was never interested in it because it would involve me having to travel around, and I can't be bothered.
Yes.
I have to stay at home to do home stuff, basically. So
I don't know how much demand there is for it either. Maybe it's these times, but I never see adverts or anything like that for we want such and such. Also,
I think what happened is it was kind of like a .com bubble. It was like everybody suddenly like, oh, I need to get commercial to do stuff, and then I can sell my services to all these film companies, and then places like the BBC said, why don't we just get our own drone pilots and use them all the time for everything? Yeah. And so I think it sort of got a little bit oversubscribed. And now I think so a lot of people sort of dropped back out again because they sort of thought, if I get qualified and get my commercial license, people will just come and see me. And of course you have to sell yourself as a business and a service to do that. They weren't quite aware of that. So I think it's a bit more streamlined now about what's happening. But I don't know. Obviously we talk about the industry for filming and TV a lot, but I don't know what's going on in terms of agriculture, in terms of photogrammetry, in terms of inspection, that sort of thing, how big it is out here.
I think Blue Owl can dial in on that.
Yeah.
So when we think about making videos, photos and so on, there's definitely a lot of people, probably way more than needed. But the thing is, I think when you're specialized in something like agriculture or cargo for whatever, medical delivery, anything like that, then you actually start with another field, and then you kind of work your way to the drones. And it's not the other way around. These are not people who say, I want to be a drone pilot, and then they figure out what they will specialize in. They become specialists in a very certain, very narrow field like agriculture, and then they happen to work with drones. This is what I usually see. So I guess when you're a specialist in your field, you will know the network of people, at least in your country, and yeah, it's probably the work will find you if you are good enough.
Yeah.
That's my problem. That's our problem. We're not just not good enough.
No,
So
come
gotta
on.
keep working.
We know you can fly well, Andy.
After a couple of beers, maybe.
But on the topic of commercial flying, next week we'll be having Robin FPV on, and we'll get Robin and Tony talking about the A2 test, which is going to be kind of a bit different come January about what that really means. So that will be interesting to talk about next week. Have we got any final questions before we sign off?
Not from me.
Or anything else anyone wants to add?
It's like, hurry up and post your video to Andrew. We want to see the...
Yeah, we just want to see the flying down Victoria Falls now.
Yeah, we definitely want to see all your FPV stuff.
Cool, guys. Like I said, January 1st or 2nd, I'll have it up on my channel.
You're making us wait, aren't you? You're gonna make
yeah, 100%. I'm like promoting it right now. Can't you tell? So, guys, African Drone Professional. Yeah, check it out.
We'll put all your links in the below of our YouTube channel, and yeah. So hopefully we'll see you. We'll see you flying Victoria Falls soon. Would you come back in a couple of months? Tell us what you've been up to.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm actually going to a conference I'm in Zimbabwe, but I've been invited to speak at a drone conference in South Africa on Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'm actually leaving Saturday. So day after tomorrow, I'm leaving. So I'll be going to South Africa, speaking at a conference there, talking about Zimbabwe flying labs. So yeah, some super cool stuff. Yeah. Excellent.
Well, we'd love to have you back and roll on January so I can see Victoria Falls.
Nice.
Cool, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you, Frank, Carrie Kitten, Andy RC, Blue Owl, Tony. Thank you so much, guys.
There you go. We don't have to do our outro. Thank you very much.
You should have done the intro.
It's my stuttering mess. Don't ever do that again, Frank, and we're going to fall out.
Every time, Tony, from here on out.
Basket.
Until you do it. I'm going to put you on the spot. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for coming on. This has been Let's Drone Out. Next week, as we said, we're talking about the A2 test with Robin FPV and Tony. This week, we have been Tony.
Bye.
Blue Owl.
Bye.
Wanda.
Yeah.
Andy.
Good evening.
Curry.
Goodbye.
And me, Frank. It's been Let's Drone Out. Thank you and good night.
Bye.